Hey everyone, it's Types. Today we're taking a look at some new cards here from the Pokemon TCG expansion Abyssai slash Pitch Black. They are essentially the same. Abyssai is the Japanese expansion. Pitch Black is the English expansion or international expansion or whatever. They, as I said, are pretty much the same. There are going to be a handful of card differences, which I'm not sure what they are. I mean, we haven't seen Abyssai fully revealed. It's releasing May 22nd in Japan, so keep an eye out for that. And then Pitch Black is releasing July 17th. In terms of news for Pitch Black, we have seen the set revealed, and we see the pack art. We have Mega Darkrai, Mega Chandelure, Mega Zeraora, and Mega Excadrill. We have seen Mega Darkrai EX and Mega Excadrill EX revealed. Mega Excadrill EX is not very good. I actually don't remember what it does. I vaguely remember what it does. I know it mills, and I know it oh yeah, just damage for a bunch of energy. It's not a very good card or a very interesting card. A bit of an interesting choice there. Or interesting to see that it's gotten a not very good card. Mega Darkrai EX is the main focal point of the set, I guess. It does some cool stuff, I guess. I don't really know. Honestly, it's not a super good card. Let's see. If you have damage cards on damage Pokemon, it does more damage, so it works with Toxtricity. It is a basic Mega here. And then Abyssai, which by the way, if you didn't know, I think good chunk of people know this by now, but the Japanese expansion is named after the main attack on the main Pokemon. So that's, or the big attack. This one instantly knocks out your points active if it's affected by a special condition. This is interesting. There's also special energy, which does something. And there's some other darkness stuff here. But anyways, I made a video on that in the past, and you could check that out. And also subscribe so you don't miss videos with me talking about the whole set in the future. But we do see, as I said, we've seen those two cards, but we are going to see Mega Chandelure EX and Mega Zeraora EX, and they will be in the set. Hopefully, I'm really excited that Mega Zeraora EX will be good. Who knows? But I do like lightning types theoretically, except they're generally not good. So hopefully that's good. But today we're taking a look at some new cards. These cards I actually have not looked at yet. Well, I looked at one of the cards. Normally, I look at them in the morning or the night before something when they're revealed, and then I make the video the next day. But I just didn't get a chance to look at them, and so these cards I'm super excited to take a look at. As I said, I saw one of them, and I know they have to do with the fossils, which I'm super excited for. Fossils are kind of cool, I guess. They're kind of clunky, but there's some cool stuff here. I guess I will start with, I don't know, I'll just go through the list here. We have Relicanth at first. We have this card, which does for one color, does 10, and then 30 more for each of your bench Pokemon with Antique in its name. If you didn't know, I guess we could just search up the Pokemon with Antique in their name. They are not all in standard. There are 3 in I forgot that is I was like, why is one of these cards removed? There's 2 Tortugas / Caracostas. But anyways, the antique Pokemon are, well, okay, so first of all, they are item cards, but when you play them, they are Pokemon. If you're item locked, you cannot play them, and you can't search them with Pokemon Search. But anyways, Antique Gold Amber, Antique Helix Fossil, Antique Dome Fossil, all rotated. We have Antique Root Fossil, Antique Plume Fossil, Antique Cover Fossil, Antique Sail Fossil, Antique Jaw Fossil. And we also have Antique Skull Fossil and Antique Shield Fossil. And while I'm here, I'll just read what they do. You play them as if it were a 60 HP basic colorless Pokemon. As I said, they're items, but then you play them down like Pokemon. And then they can't be affected by any special conditions and can't retreat. And at any time during your turn, you may discard this from play. So these are not abilities. These are just things you can do with them. It does not have a retreat cost, or I guess it has a retreat cost of 0. But you cannot retreat, as I said. Cannot be affected by special conditions, which is interesting. I think that's something that people forget about. Not that it really ever matters, but it is a thing. And then, again, you can use it, you can discard it, so it can kind of be a one-time pivot. It's not super good in that role because you'll lose it, but it is something worth mentioning. And then that is how you actually would essentially switch it out and retreat it there. And then they all have an ability as well. So they say that they can evolve into a certain Pokemon on it as well. But Spiky Skull here is the ability on Antique Skull Fossil. If this Pokemon is in the active and takes damage from an attack for your opponent's Pokemon, you put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. That is fine, I guess. I mean, it's not super good. I suppose we'll see what the Cranidos and Rampardos do here, but that's kind of cool, I guess. But it's not, amazing. None of the abilities are super good. I wouldn't say. I mean, some are useful. I think most of them are defensive. I guess they're all kind of defensive. But you have Antique Root Fossil. Antique Root Fossil is okay. This one's kind of fun. And this is honestly one of my favorite cards in the game. Except I don't play it because it's not very good. But if it's in the active, basic Pokemon, attacks used by your opponent's active basic cost 1 colorless more. So that's kind of cool. This one, not going to be doing too much, but it is something. This one says, while it's in the active, all your Pokemon take 10 less damage from attacks your opponent's Pokemon. Again, this is going to be the shield fossil here. Obviously, one fitting because it's like a shield, but two, it's it's kind of cool. You know, it's protects your bench Pokemon as well, but only from like specific types of spread, like also my Sogar Pontiacs, I guess. I don't know. That's not even like a great example. One, they're probably still knocking out your bench Pokemon, but two, they're also knocking out your active, so it's like not super good. Definitely, I'd say worse than the what's the antique jaw fossil, which takes 30 less. Itself doesn't protect your bench, but anyways, that's a thing there. Then we do have this new stadium as well. This is the card I looked at before. This is called Fossil Excavation Site. This says once during each player's turn, the player may search their deck for up to 2 cards with Antique in their name and put them onto your bench, onto their bench, then shuffle their deck. This allows you to obviously get those fossils down, and from there, you're going to be able to get the Pokemon to play, right? The evolutions there easier because you can search out the evolution, search out the basics is pretty rough. And I will be talking about the other fossils a bit more. I mean, I talked about antique root fossil, but they're actually like the fossil evolution, the fossil Pokemon. After this a bit because they are interesting. As I said, they've been pretty bad, but this card is pretty good for setting them up. There was another card, Pokemon Research Lab, I believe, actually banned in. Uh, I don't know why I searched research. That's like definitely the worst thing to search, but because professor's research. But Pokemon Research Labs is once during each player's turn that player may search their deck for 2 Pokemon that evolve from unidentified fossil, put them onto the bench, and then it ends their turn. So it kind of I guess I will say you don't need to search out the Pokemon because it does it for you. Unlike with what's it called? Fossil Excavation Site. There we go. That's the translation. The name could be changed, but with Fossil Excavation Site, this gets the basic. This is going to be a little clunkier, but it doesn't end your turn. So this means you cannot like use Badoo or something. When I say something, you're probably going to Badoo. Let's be honest. If you're looking for some like mediocre early game attack, you don't have to. But yeah, ultimately this is or not mediocre, but like good. Safe early game attack there is, I guess, the right word. And yeah, anyways, Pokemon Research Lab though is banned in GLC, which is like kind of funny, and in like I believe it's played in expanded, right? It's played with Thorns and Archeops. I'm pretty sure that's like still something that's happening and still pretty good with Archeops there, but ultimately they are kind of similar. I said this one is a little fast, or it's like it cheats them out, but it ends your turn, right? So it is interesting. Also, I guess I will mention in like Expander GLC, there's a lot of Pokemon like their fossils. It's super weird. Like they evolve from unidentified fossil, or some evolve from like the antique fossils, and so you can like rare candy either of them. It's very weird, and you got to use very bizarre evolution lines. But I'll just mention that here, but it's ultimately not super relevant, but it's super weird. Fossils are weird, but anyways, this card is good though, and we will talk more about the fossils. Then we got the cards here, the actual Pokemon. I mentioned Relicanth. Oh, I guess I didn't actually like talk too much about how good Relicanth is. As an attacker, it's actually um but I guess the stadium also like gets 2 of the fossils down. So you could be playing Relicanth. Also, their fossils again, they're not Pokemon like till you play them, so you can't start them. That's also like an issue. So if you want to play a deck with a lot of fossils as your basics, they're not your basics. So you might mulligan a lot. If you remember during the Perfect Order pre-release, if you went to that or if you watched my video on it, which actually did super well, and I will be making one for Chaos Rising as well, and every set. But anyways, with that, there were a lot of mulligans because there were not a lot of basics because most of them were fossils. But anyways, with that, that means you could play 4 Relicanth and a bunch of fossils, and you could like just play a ton of these antique fossils, and essentially like they can kind of protect themselves. As I said, there's I think the best one would be um, the cover fossil. Yeah, this one's going to stop like Dragapult EX there, and some other ones are definitely going to be useful. But ultimately, or like a little safer there, but you can play a bunch of those. You can be swinging for 150, or sorry, 160. That's like okay. Early, like turn 1, that's really good. After that, it's like it's kind of mad. It's not terrible, but it's not amazing. I suppose you'll also need a full bench. So I guess you could use Area Zero Underdepths as well, and then have 7 on your bench, swinging for to also, yeah, there's no other Pokemon with Antique in the name. I just thought about that. I assume there's not any other Pokemon with Antique in its name. But anyways, so we see that 210 or sorry 220. That's pretty good, but that's like really clunky. You are actually needing 7 fossils there, and then also you need I mean, you really can't use the other stadium, so it feels pretty bad. But I don't know, maybe you could do that. That might be a bit like a bit of a better deck with actual higher upside. But I don't know. I think Relicanth as an option within a fossil deck is interesting, but we need to see the other fossils here, which we will see in just a second. But it's a decent Pokemon. I think if you swing, I guess swing for 70 is all right. It has one retreat as well. Speaking of retreat, if you do want to play a deck with this swing for 160 every turn, or a full bench of fossils or whatever with Air Zero or whatever, then with that you will need a pivot, which will probably just be the fossils discarding themselves, which is like annoying as well because you need to get extra fossils then. But you don't need to replenish like the fossils every turn. It doesn't discard them. So definitely an interesting card here and a pretty decent one, honestly. And then we have Cranidos. This one does 70 switches your opponent's active to the bench. Not too much to see there. Impardos EX here. If it's to the active, once during your turn, you can flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy for your opponent's active. That's an alright control option there, though it's not amazing. It's like okay, I guess. And then we have a Beijing Hammer for 2 fighting 150. Then during your next turn, attacks used by this Pokemon do 150 more. As far as I'm aware, this is the only attack it could. Oh no, you could also use the other Relic to copy the previous evolution, but that's not very good. Anyways, that's like this card isn't super good, unfortunately, for a Stage 2 EX. Instead of also a Fossil. Evolving from a Fossil, I will say is probably still worse. Even with the stadium, you're gonna have less outs to the basic. I don't think it's a lot worse. I think it's pretty close. I guess with fighting, you also don't have Fighting Gong. I mean, you do have Fighting Gong, but you can't use it to find the basic, which is a little unfortunate there. But ultimately, this card just isn't very good, I don't think. I think the ability is like okay-ish, but it reminds me a lot of Talonflame. Talonflame, what's it do? It bends a card with their hand. Yeah, so it's not very good, unfortunately. Like Talonflame's a card I've not seen anyone really play, and yeah, similar kind of idea there. Then you have Shieldon. This one is a mediocre attack. Actually, discarding energy from their active is okay. I mean, it's guaranteed. I don't like Rampardos, which isn't guaranteed. Yes, you could use multiple, but that's pretty clunky there. But anyways, Shieldon, kind of fun, I guess. Then Bastiodon with the ability, or I guess first the attack, 160 for 3 is kind of whatever. Then Ancient Bulwark for the ability. Willis is on the bench. Prevent all damage done to your Pokemon by attacks or opponent. Wait, what? Well, this is on your bench. Prevent all damage done to your Pokemon by attacks from your opponent. Oh, I thought it was your bench Pokemon. No, it's all your Pokemon by well, what am I saying? That you stop the damage from Pokemon that have 2 or fewer energy attached. This is going to be a lot of Pokemon. Or it's like I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's a good chunk of Pokemon. There's some that hit through stuff as well, right? I feel like there's a really good Pokemon that hits through effects of attacks. I mean, there's like Fighting Ogre Pun, but I thought there was one that was like really highly played. Maybe I think like Mega Lopunny, which isn't that good. But anyways, Bastiodon here is a lot better than Rampardos EX. This is going to be walling a bunch of stuff. It doesn't need to be on the bench. Your opponent can go after it, and also it's 4 retreat. That's a lot. How much does Rampardos have? Was it like 2? Yeah. So this one is an interesting card. You are probably looking to set up multiple, and I think this though legitimately is a decent control option. Definitely an interesting card to consider. In terms of versatility within fossils, I think neither of these are that good. I think Shieldon, I guess, with Bastiodon, and then maybe Relicanth, not the new Relicanth, but the old Relicanth to copy the previous evolution, is an interesting concept there. Being able to really mess with your opponent, and obviously you have the synergy there that you're going to be moving your opponent's energy. This will mean if they're playing like Mega Lucario or Dragapult or a 2 energy deck where they want to get that 3rd energy so they can actually attack you, you could be slowing them down there, which is interesting there. So ultimately, yeah, I think this is kind of interesting, kind of good. I guess there was the synergy between the two as well with Rampardos moving energy and then stopping the damage with Bastiodon. I don't think that's really worth going for like ever, but it is a thing there. Ultimately, moving on to the other fossils though. In standard, I guess we need to let's see what are the evolutions. So there's the Cordilli and the Lileep there. They're not very good. There's Archeops. Archeops like devolves. It's kind of fun, but it's the stage 2 there. It's kind of clunky. Right now it's very clunky and not really worth running ever. I guess tell me in the comment section if you run the Archeops. The Archeops is a really fun card. I do like it. But it's just not very good. Devolving your opponent's highest stage evolution is kind of fun, but it's kind of mediocre, but cool. Then There is, I don't even remember that Caracosta does. I know there's one that walls special energy. Oh, I do actually. The one wall special energy, the one increases damage done to, was it evolutions? Yeah, by all your Pokemon, kind of fun. But then you have the Tortuga, which is very good. This one does 30 for each item in your opponent's discard pile. This is definitely the card I'm looking at the most, and I legitimately think could be good. I play this card some. I used to play Tortuga Cinderace. That was a deck I played a lot. It was not good, but it was fun. It honestly could like pop off and do some really sick stuff, but it was a very scary deck to play because things could kind of fall apart at any moment. But anyways, Tortuga is a really cool card and a really solid card. I mean, the damage you do is pretty decent. You look at different decks in the game, they're going to be binning items at a good rate. This is certainly going to be doing decent damage here, swinging for pretty consistently, somewhere probably in the mid hundreds, maybe to 200s. You really do want to be hitting in that like 200 range, but also you're kind of, discouraging your opponent from playing items, which is kind of nice. And yeah, it's just a pretty decent option. It's not amazingly powerful, but it's pretty decent. So I do like it with the fossil card, fossil excavation. What is it? Yeah, fossil excavation site. And then the other ones, the Tyrantrum is bad. I guess has a lot of HP. It's a cool card, but it's not very good. And then the Auroras, what's that even do? Is that like a defensive card? Um, let's see. It does. Yeah, it's a defensive card. It's like kind of funny, but it's not super good. Ultimately, the best of these by far is Tortuga. I think Archeops is the second best. I didn't even like talk about Cordelia. Cordelia is like not good. But it's like probably better than Tyrantrum and Oros as well. Ultimately, this is interesting. I do think Tortuga is going to be. I think Tortuga might be like decent with this new stadium. I think the idea of the Bastion control is fun. I don't know exactly if it will be playable at all, like in terms of actually being like good, but I think there is something there. And I think Relicanth is interesting. You could just play Relicanth as a deck. I think in terms of fossil box, I don't think that makes sense. Ultimately, you're probably looking for stage ones. There aren't really many stage one fossils that are actually like do anything particularly good. There's Tortuga. There's some other ones that are kind of okay-ish, but just like kind of mediocre value, kind of like the shield on there. Ultimately, I would say that these cards are pretty cool. I'm excited for all of them, to be honest. Okay, maybe not the Rampardos line, but I'm really excited for the stadium. I'm really excited for Relicanth. I'm moderately excited for Relicanth. I mean, it's a one colorless energy attacker that's pretty strong. Not like super strong, but I mean, it's pretty decent. We see stuff like Van Rotom, we see stuff like Solrock, and this is probably better than those as attackers. Those obviously are not just attackers. They're played for very powerful abilities, but definitely interesting to see. So we got some pretty cool cards here. But tell me in the comment section if you're excited for these, as I am. We've been in a bit of a drought of like kind of mediocre cards for the most part. So I think these are pretty decent. I don't think they're amazing, but I'm pretty happy with these, and I am definitely excited. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Also, huge shouts to my YouTube members for supporting the channel. It really does help. But also everyone else for just liking and subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. It really does help support me. And then also liking, that helps get the video out to other people, and sharing as well. But even just liking the video and commenting. But I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.